good evening. I am hosting tonight. Gio is in a less hosty role than typical. So good evening. Welcome to the Thursday Night Manga Show. As usual, I am joined by my co-host, the wonderful Gio downstairs there, still petitioning for an Inhumans omnibus. And not per usual, I'm joined by this new face over here. Colleen, would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Colleen. I am known for being a shoujo connoisseur, and my YouTube is Colleen's Manga Rex. You might know me from there as well. I can't introduce myself. I'm so bad at it.
Colleen is all good. Colleen's a good friend of mine. She is on YouTube, Twitter, and TikTok. Colleen's Manga Rex. She makes great content about shoujo manga and some josei manga and some other things as well. And there's my little introduction to you guys. So
the better intro.
So follow her on her stuff after tonight's show, and you're like, okay, she's got some good things to say about the bad things that are going on at Shoujo Beat. And that's what we're talking about tonight is some Shoujo Beat drama.
What is happening? Because I had other ideas for this show, and then you told me, no, we got to talk about this thing. I'm like, okay, what is happening?
This would be a good topic. Yeah, and Gio enjoys his chisme. He enjoys the drama.
Hell freaking yes.
So Gio's is kind of outside on this one, but we've got him here because he's Gio, number one, and number two, he can ask us the questions that
contractually obligated to be on the stream. But yeah,
and as per typical, Gio is the segue meister, but I'll segue into letting him take on the sponsor plug.
You know, if you want manga in general, you guys got to check out InStockTrades.com. That's our official sponsor. InStock Trades, or IST as we like to say, your home for all things collected editions. You can get your omnibus, trade paperback, manga, and so much more for great discounts, up to 50% off. Loyalty discounts tack on an extra 2% to that. And if you make an order of $50 or more, you get free shipping. Fantastic customer service and wonderful packaging at InStockTrades.com. Also, let me remind you guys that this upcoming Monday, we'll be doing the $50 gift card giveaway. So if you want to take a crack at that and see if you can win, you got to tune in to our stream. That's next Monday on Omnibros Live. So thank you to InStock Trades for making it happen, the official sponsor of the Omnibus Collectors Network.
Also, that new printing of the Animal Man omnibus up there, that's my favorite comic of all time.
That's a good one. Yeah, $50. That's great.
I almost ordered a second copy and to do a giveaway, but I didn't. Maybe I'll do it later. I'll probably do it later.
Yeah.
Okay, so there's some manga in there too, some shoujo maybe.
So I saw one.
Yeah, there was. I saw a few manga. I did see Black Lagoon on there on the top page, but there's drama afoot with Shoujo Beat. Everyone's least favorite shoujo imprint over at Viz Media.
Oh dear,
it's
that bad.
It's not, and it's not all just what happened a couple nights ago. But a couple nights ago, so much of it came to a head that now Shoujo Beat is trending on Twitter for all the wrong reasons, and everyone's been a Twitter as you would about what's been going on, and so where do we start?
What happened? What happened on that fateful night?
Should we start with the original question that got someone to dig up the 2018 answer? Because I feel like that's where we should start more.
So I'll give a little bit of context. So Shoujo Beat, of course, Viz Media's shoujo line that's been around for since 2005, I think, 2006. The social media team runs a Tumblr account where people submit questions, and that's generally where they answer their questions, is via the Shoujo Beat Tumblr account. And editor Nancy, as she signs with, seems to be the one that answers all the questions via either the Tumblr account or the Twitter. And a very common question, which not just for Shoujo Beat, but for any manga publisher or imprint or whatever, is going to be about reprints. It's especially now with so many new people coming into the hobby, so many people missed out on a lot of different series. And there are a lot of different shoujo titles, a lot from the Shoujo Beat or the Viz Shoujo line, that have been out of print for a while. So what was the question a couple nights ago that led towards someone to dig up the 2018 response?
I don't remember exactly the wording, but it was someone basically asking, will Please Save My Earth, Basara, and Red River ever get a reprint? Or do they have plans of doing it soon? And then Nancy responded and said something along the lines of the same thing that got her in trouble in 2018, but she referenced that by saying, oh, I'm going to talk about the thing that drew ire a while back or something like that. And then basically went on to say they don't have like set reprinting, or they're not going to reprint, or whatever the answer is.
Yeah.
And then that's what made people go back and be like, no, actually, it didn't just draw ire. It was like full on just a malicious comment.
Do you have the 2018? I don't have it on hand. I know who I can find it from though.
I have my Twitter open, so I can find it from there.
Yeah, you can share the. Can you share the screen? I forgot. Can I guess?
Be the only one.
I can send the link. So
we have a private chat. Send it there.
Yeah.
So this was a 2018 response that editor Nancy, as she is so known, had given on the Tumblr account, and it was towards a similar question about reprints, and it wasn't just that, but also talking about, they asked to think about like discontinued titles, right?
Yeah.
And everyone's got at least one title that's been discontinued that we're upset about. So Nancy, can you get a little closer? Can you zoom in a little more? Okay. So let's see. I got an anonymous ask in my inbox about our discontinued series being picked up again. Simple answer is no. The year we discontinued a few series was when Borders went out of business. Pour one out for the homies, Borders. The manga market crashed. When series don't sell, we take the financial hit. Several publishers did not make it through the crash. When people don't buy manga, the publisher takes the financial hit. So it's always really important to purchase manga in a timely fashion. Most of that is absolutely fine. Until I think the very end, where she says it's important to do it in a timely fashion, just because of the fact that a lot of people were not able to collect at the time. Like,
yeah,
13 years ago from 2018 was 2003. Now I'm gonna be a meanie with the little
that is so weird
woo face, because I sometimes am. What? Go away. Did you not buy a series that we published over 13 years ago, 10 years ago, 8, 7, 6, 5? Now maybe you were one of the few that did. That's amazing. You have great taste in manga. I'm not talking to you. But for all the other people who didn't buy it back then and think they should have another chance at it now, no way. I don't feel sorry for you. You had your chance. I can't, like, with a straight face. Like,
it's funny.
Like, take that serious.
It's almost funny how ridiculous it is.
I can't take that serious.
We absorbed the losses because you didn't collect it when we were publishing it. What it also did is make publishing something new in that particular genre, or by that mangaka, more difficult, because the booksellers know that you didn't buy those series. I'm also looking at all the holdouts for when a series ends, or those surreptitiously waiting for a box set. Again, only 4 out of 100 plus Shoujo Beat series have ever had box sets. You can do that, but those series are not being available when you finally get around to collecting them is the risk you take. No one knows you want a particular series until you purchase it, and when series are gone, they're usually gone for good. Editor Nancy. So Nancy, the message here is not the problem. For anyone that might think that, like, the drama is about the fact that they're not reprinting or they're not continuing discontinued series, that is not the problem whatsoever. And I want to hone in on that, because as Colleen knows, there's people on Twitter right now who think that that's why everyone got upset, was because they were told no. Chewy, stop with the itching. No. The problem.
Shout out to Chewy. Love that guy.
As the Ashley says here, this is on her Twitter. SHOJO Beat, my students weren't alive when some of the series they want to read were released. It's the way, like the tone and stuff, and the lack of tact that Nancy is taking in her responses towards people in this one from 2018, and also several of the more recent replies going into stuff from a couple nights ago. And it's, yeah, we understand you can't reprint everything, but to tell people like, nanny boo boo, you missed out, like, when you work for the publisher, I don't know about that.
Oh, wait, hold on. Let me highlight the other reply, the other tweet thing.
The one I just sent was the one that was the original reply from 2 days ago, I think now. This is what made people bring up the 2018 post, because she referenced it when she said that stance that drew ire a few years ago. She's talking about that post.
Oh, there you go.
Right. So the question, hi Nancy, if one of us backorder the classics, like Please Save My Earth, Red River, or Basara, is there any hope of reprints? I'm wondering if us shoujo fans should spread the word on Reddit or other platforms to make it happen, or is there no hope for physical copies for these old series? Thanks for your help, whether it's good news or bad news. And I think the way the question's asked shows 100% that, like, the person who's asking this, and I think most people, their reaction, if she just said, no, I'm sorry, we won't be able to reprint these, the reaction would not be with such ire. Like, it would be understanding, like, okay, yeah, that sucks, it can't be reprinted, whatever.
Yeah.
And then her response, so personally, I have all of Please Save My Earth in ebook format. Even though I started working at Viz while the final volumes were in production, I still wasn't going to be able to find spares of all the old volumes. That being said, classics tend to come back at some point, not all the time. I still stand by my no book stays in print forever / you need to collect manga promptly stance that drew ire a few years ago. It's the reality of publishing, but we did get Banana Fish back in play, so you never know what the future holds. Of course, Banana Fish was because of the anime that came out.
Hold on. Let me get the other part. Sorry.
I think a campaign would be tough in the current circumstances because so many manga titles are in demand right now, and there are still printing shortages. Editor Nancy, this response was not as catty as the old one, but she does mention the old one and that you need to collect manga promptly stance that is a bit problematic when not everyone has the free money, or at the time was either not a lot. Yeah, exactly. I was a baby or didn't exist yet.
That reads like... Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry, I think the comment about Banana Fish is especially very just like rubs me the wrong way, because like there's no way she doesn't know that it's because it got an anime like kind of out of nowhere, because this series was back from the 90s and it got an anime in like 2018, which made it popular again. Same with like Fruits Basket. I know that's with Yen Press now, but like that also got it like a special release as well, and that's not going to happen with, as we know, many shoujo series don't get anime, so like that's a rare case. So that, I think that also is another thing that just kind of rubbed people the wrong way, because it's just kind of like, okay, well, we are not going to get an anime for like Basara anytime soon. We're not going to get some random anime of Red River anytime soon. So that was just another thing that was kind of like, I didn't like how she put that.
We knock on wood, it'd be nice.
I'm not going to say I don't want it.
It's not super likely, because like you said, we really don't see a lot of, and this is stuff that I've been learning from you and everyone else, like kind of viewing how few shoujo anime there are at during any given season. you said earlier on TikTok about the last time that we had a shoujo beat manga that was published before the anime hit. What was it? Anonymous Noise?
Yeah, 2017. And then before that was My Love Story in 2015.
Yeah. So it's very rare. And then now we want to like take a sudden turn in the shoujo beat drama topics. You were talking about that because of Romantic Killer, which, yeah,
I got beef with that series.
That is, yeah, Romantic Killer, which was announced in the February.
Yeah, the Valentine's Day release or the Valentine's Day licenses.
Yeah, so on Valentine's, Viz did their February announcements, and they announced that, and what was there was one other shoujo, the Rainbow
Days.
Rainbow Days.
Yeah.
The only two shoujo titles that were announced. But Romantic Killer is not a shoujo.
Yeah.
It is a shonen that was published in Jump Plus. But it is being labeled as a shoujo.
So it was mislabeled?
Colleen, what did they say? Remember, you said
their
earlier.
response to when someone asked why Romantic Killer was put in the shoujo beat label was just the fact that Boys Over Flowers, which is like a very classic shoujo title, is getting published as a season 2 in Jump Plus right now. So that was the response, was just, well, Boys Over Flowers is being published in Jump Plus. And that was their only response. And it's just like, that's such a non-response. Boys Over Flowers was already a shoujo title from Shoujo Beat as well, that just happened to get like a little second sequel that's getting published on Jump Plus. But it's also
on the
best-selling shoujo series ever. So like, I think they just wanted to make the best-selling shoujo series accessible, so they put it on Jump Plus, where it's free. I don't really use the app, so.
If I'm not mistaken, the second season, maybe the first season as well.
It might be, yeah.
It's on the Shonen Jump app.
Yeah,
and
it's the only one.
It's the only shoujo series on the app. But them using that as like a reasoning is stupid. Like that, it's a non-reason is what it is. And it's just, I think like this idea of, I mean, literally, if I looked at the title and it's just, it's Romantic Killer, like, is that it? Just because it has romantic in the title? As if they don't publish several romance, like they publish several romance series under their shonen lines. They have several shonen romance that a bunch of people tend to confuse for shoujo because they conflate romance with shoujo. But like, it's a shonen, and not only is it being published in the Shoujo Beat line, it is $17 per volume, because it's a full color. It's probably going to be oversized. It's only 4 volumes long, and it's getting an anime that's coming like October or something.
Yes, October
on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, that's another thing that like with Shoujo Beat, it's like, it's kind of insulting, like a slap in the face. They're like, you get 2 Shoujo Beat announcements out of like 20 licenses, and one of them's not even a shoujo. And one of the problems with that, and I think I mentioned this on the show before, but one of the topics that came up during the San Diego Comic-Con Publisher Roundtable was about like license or publishers licensing a ton of different titles. And they were, Viz, Kevin, I forget his last name, from Viz, mentioned like, we don't want to flood the market and license too many titles again, because we saw what happened back in 2010, around the time when the market crashed, and we want to play it safe. Like we'll continue to make money, and then just in case it crashes again, because things look great now, but it could crash, which I get, like you're looking at it from a business standpoint, but he's like, just in case, we're not going to market a ton of stuff. And essentially what he said was, we have a limit to how much we can put out at a time. And so they're not going to put new series out until something else ends. because they need more. They have a limited number of slots on their publication, which means that if they were only going to have 2 slots reserved at the time for news things in the SHOJO Beat line, they just wasted one on a shonen title instead of licensing one of the shoujo titles that many shoujo fans have been asking for, been hoping for.
This tweet was from a couple days ago, which I thought was pretty funny because somebody said like that's not a shoujo or something like that.
That's usually the replies whenever they post about romantic killer.
Yeah, here it is, shoujo anime, and they put up the description where it says shonen and Shonen Jump Plus.
Yeah. So it's just weird, and like they just, I feel like Shoujo Beat almost feels like it's operating separately in a lot of ways now from the rest of the publisher, and it's treated separately too, because just as an off example, the recent Right Stuff Viz Media sale, they had nothing from the Shoujo Beat line and nothing from Sublime either, but that's typical for Sublime, but nothing from Shoujo Beat. The only shoujo that they had were shoujo titles that are not under the Shoujo Beat line, like Requiem of the Rose King.
I didn't know they didn't. They excluded the Shoujo Beat stuff. That's interesting.
They have 3 titles that are technically shoujos. I can understand why one of them isn't a shoujo because I feel like it is very mature. So I can understand why they put it under the... Is it under the signature line, Oku?
Yes.
Yeah, I can understand why that one's under the signature line. I feel like it is very mature. And slapping a mature label on that one with the Shoujo Beat probably wouldn't be a good move. But like for Children of the Whales and for Requiem of the Rose King, I don't get why those couldn't have just been put under the Shoujo Beat label, especially Requiem of the Rose King, which the mangaka formerly had 2 series published under Shoujo Beat already. So like they're an established shoujo author. The series is from a shoujo magazine. Why wasn't it put under Shoujo Beat? Like, and if it's for the mature stuff that happens in that one, there's a lot worse in some other series that they put in the Shoujo Beat line. Like, Riley and I were just talking about this the other day. There's several like smut series that are in the Shoujo Beat line. There's, Prince Freya is pretty violent. So if it's for that reason, Prince Freya shouldn't be in it either. So I don't understand why at all Requiem of the Rose King got shoved out of the Shoujo Beat line.
But it didn't even get put in the signature line. It's just label-less.
It's just Viz, which is very strange.
It's Viz along with stuff like the Kirby and Zelda manga. Plain old Viz.
Rose King is so similar to Kirby, actually, and I have a whole thing about how it's
a whole video essay.
So all right, so we talked about the things with editor Nancy. We talked about the thing with the romantic killer. Now February, June, the June announcements also yielded what, 1 Shoujo Beat title?
1 whole shoujo.
Oh wow.
Not counting the man Junji Ito and his shoujo horror manga. That was also there. For those who don't know, most of Ito's manga, especially a lot of the one-shots, were published in monthly. Halloween, I believe, is the magazine, which is a shoujo magazine.
Yep.
What was the one that was announced though?
So I think they put the title to My Special One. It's from Momoka Koda, who her other work is coming out from Yen Press called No Longer Heroine. And that was like, I read No Longer Heroine back in college, so around like 2013. I think that's when it started publishing. And we're only just now getting it.
Wow.
Yeah. You're My Special One, or however it's the name is now, that one is releasing. So that one's at least a semi-new release.
That was the only one from from that round out of, again, like 20. And after that, when everyone went and was like adding Shoujo Beat, and they were like, yo, what up? Like, where's the rest of the Shoujo manga, y'all? And they were like, oh, we have some stuff coming up. We just couldn't get it in time for this round of announcements. And people asked, like, so when? And they didn't say anything. And a lot of people started to assume.
Soon.
Yeah, they said soon. And a lot of people assumed that soon meant Anime Expo. And I know we shouldn't assume, but like, you kind of like chomping at the bit, like, shoujo fans, for something from Shoujo Beat, the only line that has shoujo in the name, right? Like,
yeah.
And then Anime Expo came, and in this barrage of just hype announcement after hype announcement of like so many titles that like you and other shoujo fans had been asking for, had been hoping for, Viz comes up to bat, and it's literally we have the Jujutsu Kaisen Blu-rays coming out, and like 200 episodes of Naruto are heading over to Hulu.
Hulu, yeah, I remember that.
You're like, yo, what the fuck? There's nothing here. So that like continued the sourness, and now like we're at the halfway point between announcements. The next round of announcements should be mid-October. But like, I don't know, Nancy, what do you got? Like, what do you?
Poor Nancy.
Are you lying again to us? Are you just gonna claim that there's something happening, and then when nothing happens, what's she gonna say? Is it gonna be more shoujo or more shonen titles? Is that what we're gonna get?
And I wouldn't even be excited for like just some random series that they like got for cheap. Like, I'm not going to be excited for just anything just because Shoujo Beat licensed it.
Yeah.
And I feel like some people like think that I have to be, but I also have taste in manga. Like, I'm not just going to settle for whatever they give me. Like, I would like the series that I've been wanting for a while. But like, I feel like they're just either going to give us another like 10-year-old series that I either read when I was in college and like I found scanlation sites for the first time, or like some like currently releasing series that only had 3 volumes or something.
Yeah. And it's like, I feel bad. I feel bad because I'm only now, like, thanks to you and others, starting to not just try and get into reading shoujo, but understanding like everything about this whole side of manga that even though I've like become such a like, an expert in the medium, that I've never had any exposure to. So I'm learning so much, and like I have so much empathy every time like there's another disappointment, and like I understand it, and I feel bad because like this last round of announcements, I think there was like 3 or 4 items that got announced that I was super excited about. And I'm pretty sure I said to you, like, I feel bad that I'm so excited right now, that I'm happy about this stuff.
Yeah.
Because y'all don't have anything. And you were like, no, like you should feel good about that. That's fine. I'm like, but I can't. my friends are upset and I can't feel happy about
we're like, always upset. We're in a perpetual state of upsetness.
Yeah.
And nothing new for us.
And then editor Nancy here to like kick you while you're down.
Yeah.
Like with her catty responses.
I think that's why so many people aren't understanding why it felt particularly like worse. Because we're already feeling like we're not respected. We're already feeling like Viz just kind of throws things into the Shoujo Beat label. I think I told you this, Riley, but after the June announcement, Viz went over to the Shoujo subreddit and they just posted all of their romance titles and they said all of our new Shoujo license. And it was like the one about the blind girl that they had licensed, the Insomniac series, the one shoujo, and then one more romance title, and then they just called them all shoujo, and then went on their merry way. So like,
I joked when you said that. I joked that like they didn't even show the Junji Ito book.
No, because it's only romance.
Yeah.
Tasty Melon, thank you for joining.
Yeah. So I feel like we're just constantly getting disrespected, and then Nancy adding on top of that to be like, hey, we don't really care that you couldn't afford to buy manga when you were a child. Try harder next time.
Thing to respond to someone.
Yeah.
And that's not how you should run an account, honestly. And it's a shame because it's part of the lingo of manga collecting. You know about Shoujo Beat. It's a brand and it's famous and it deserves the respect, not to be just cast away like that and like, oh, let's just disguise books and label it as something so we can trick people and earn money.
Yeah. And I feel like the fact that that series is $16.99. This is going to be the most expensive Shoujo Beat title ever under the imprint.
Wow.
The fact that like a shonen series that's full color and like no one knew about, no one really asked for. We've been like asking for other titles for quite a while now, and they're either going to other companies, which that's perfect. I would rather that than them at this point. Or we're just like not getting anything at all. Like I said earlier, like a 2010 release that most of us already read because it came out 10 years ago.
I will say, from speaking from the comic book side of things, as a massive Inhumans fan, I know exactly how you feel.
Yeah.
Inhumans get no love.
Yeah. Also, speaking of love, Tyler wrote something really nice. Also love the videos, Colleen. Found you through Riley's recommendations, and you seem really knowledgeable on shoujo, and it makes it so much more enjoyable.
Thank you.
That's awesome. Endman just found out about Requiem of the Rose King a few weeks ago. It seems interesting. Too bad the first few volumes are pretty hard to find. How hard are they to find?
I was lucky and I found volume 1 at a half price books. And then I don't remember where I found volume 3, but it was somewhat recently, I think, on Amazon. Someone had it for cover randomly. So just keep looking. They'll pop up. If not, that one is eventually going to get put back.
Thank you, Tyler.
We got to work together.
Yeah.
the Shoujo Inhumans. It's an Inhumans manga series in a Shoujo magazine.
Maybe then.
I think the Inhumans would make for good shoujo because it's a lot of political drama.
I keep saying it, nobody pays attention.
I'll have to look it up now. I don't know much about comics, but that way I can be in your plight as well.
we can. I don't know about Geo, but I would always readily recommend the Jenkins J. Lee Paul Jenkins run.
Oh, absolutely! That is the best entry point for the franchise.
Yeah, the Paul Jenkins J. Lee run. It's 12 issues. It was a really great story with a lot of political intrigue. Again, would make for a good shoujo. So let's.
I always say like it's political drama with monarchy stuff, and it's just cool characters and strange aliens. So I dig it. That's why I always recommend it. Next, Imaginaut. Thank you. I was not expecting you to chime in tonight, but that's great. It's a betrayal to both their very substantial bread and butter audience base and a cowardly cultural theft from younger and prospective readers.
Now, on that note, one of the things, I don't remember if we read it, but one of the things that Nancy had said was about the digital stuff. She's like, read all these things digitally, get these things digitally, which some of them, like Red River, is not available digitally, is it?
Not all of it, yeah. Yeah, hold on. Stupid camera.
Basara and Please Save My Earth are digital.
I haven't checked out the ebook versions because I just haven't. I'm not much of a big ebook fan, especially when they're the exact same price as like the physical versions. So I'm not exactly sure which series have ebooks, which don't.
That is the dumbest thing. If you're doing digital, you're saving money by not printing it. Why are you making me spend the same amount? I hate that.
They should always be at least half, I feel.
Yeah.
Like, give some sort of incentive to be like, read this thing. Does Kodansha price theirs down?
I know that I read the last volume of You Got Me, Senpai for $5, which is significantly cheaper because I think their usual titles are like $11. So I know they're a little more expensive than.
But here's another thing that we didn't pull up, but this is something Nancy mentioned, and I don't remember if I mentioned it to you or if I mentioned it elsewhere earlier today, Colleen. But when she mentioned something about like ordering, like putting in orders for backorder manga, like when a volume is available, but like you can buy it, but it's not available yet on like Right Stuff or Barnes and Noble, stuff like that.
Yeah.
And she was like, when you do that, when you order those, the bookstore will order those and it will prompt us to print it. But not every volume of any of these series is available to do that with. Like, even, and not even just limited to these that are long past, shoujo classics, as it were, that were pre-shoujo beat line. But even I think like Kaze Hikaru is some of the volumes are just unavailable.
Yeah.
And I maybe others as well, but like, and that leads me to another complaint. Why is it a year between every freaking volume of that series?
Like I understand for Kaze Hikaru, I just no one really knows about that series, especially current manga fans. So I can understand that they're like having trouble continuing it. So they're like down to like a year to like save money while still continuing the series. But there's 45 volumes of the series in total, and we're only at volume 30. I'm gonna be 40 before the series is even over. Like, that's insane. People will have been collecting this manga for 30 years. And the series has only been going for like 20 or so in Japan.
It was 97 to 2020, so 23 years long.
Wow.
And it's like, like Colleen said, 30 volumes. It ended with 45. There's literally, it's a volume every year. And it has been a volume every year for a little while. Let me go down the list. It's been one volume per year since 2010. In 2010, they did 16, 17, and 18. And then after that, it was one volume every year since then.
That's absolutely insane.
And there is one shonen title that does this, though. Hayate the Combat Butler is also 1 year between every volume. And Hayate the Combat Butler is going to take about another 15 years to conclude as well.
That's insane.
So at the very least, there is something on both sides suffering with this
equally.
But
yeah, I mean, for anyone that sucks. Like, no matter what series, having to wait 30 years just to complete it.
Yeah, and it's like, how do we know? Like, how do we know with no doubt that Viz is going to continue that? Like, that they're not going to get to like volume 35 and be like, well, shit, sorry. Because they're already not reprinting earlier volumes. So they're already cutting off the ability for newer, well, not completely. I just bought all 30 for Undercover, but they're cutting off the ability for newer readers to get into it easily by not reprinting.
Natsume's Book of Friends, I mean, you can't get volumes 1 through 3 anywhere. You can't order it anywhere. And that's another series that's ongoing, and it's not going to be done anytime soon. There's a lot of like shoujo series like that are still ongoing. They have no like sign of showing that they're going to be done anytime soon, and you just can't order the beginning of them. Like, usually volumes 1 to 3, you can't order any of them. And I know for like Yona, it's coming back in stock, and Kami-sama Kiss is coming back in stock, and that's great. Nana as well. But there's like the classic ones that are still ongoing, like Kaze Hikaru and Natsume's, and I think Skip Beat maybe, although the Omnibus is probably more easy to get than the individual ones are at this point.
I don't know on that one because the Skip Beat Omnis are like only maybe half of them.
Oh, really?
And I don't know, like for me personally, I was lucky because Steph gave me the first Omnibus.
Yeah.
And that one's not easy to find. But like, I think right now it's like you can get 3, 5, 7, 9, 11, and 13, like all the odd number ones basically are available. But like, and so I've ordered what I can, and then I'm going to keep an eye out for the rest and see if they get reprinted. But at least Skip Beat is being published like in a good time.
Yeah.
With, like the Japanese release, because I think in Japan there's 48 volumes, while in the US 47 is coming out in November.
Yeah, Skip Beat and Yona, they're both pretty on time with their Japanese releases. Snow White with the Red Hair is a little bit behind. I think in Japan it's got 26 or 27, and right now it's only at 20. But that one got a 2019 release, so that one's been playing catch up for a while anyway.
Yeah. These are all series that I have recently acquired. I think every single one that we mentioned, and I've acquired as much as I can, and it's a testament. I'm witnessing firsthand what it's like to get in right now as a new fan.
Yeah.
Dark Horse's, I can tell you, Dark Horse's print and reprint schedule, they mentioned the reason that they're so foobar is because they were bought out twice in the past 3 years. And so they've been dealing internally with the buyout and all the stuff. So they have had a lot of things that just got put on the back burner. And that's why there was a massive delay between volumes of Mob Psycho 100. That's why volume 5 of the Kurosagi Corpse Delivery Service got canceled twice.
Yeah, that's it forever.
Finally here. And that's why, like, this past 2 months ago at AX, when they were making announcements, that's when they mentioned this. But they said that stuff, and they were like, but we're gonna have volume 6 of Kurosagi coming out, we're gonna have this, we're gonna have more of this. Like, they are finally able to push forward. Fingers crossed that Dark Horse doesn't sell again.
I mean, well, they got bought out by what's the name of it? Embracer Group, is that the name?
Yeah, who also bought out
Limited Run Games and the Tolkien franchise.
Yeah.
IP, sorry.
Yeah, so we're probably going to start seeing like some games and stuff with those characters. But that's what's up with Dark Horse.
Tyler has a question here. Sorry, I missed that. My bad. So lately I've been looking for a good gut punch emotional read. Any shoujo recommendations that fall into that category?
I'm going to have to think of ones that are like easier to get. I want to say Mars, just because I'm reading Mars right now, but like it's so expensive to get that one. So like that would be so mean.
It's on the Kindle.
Oh yeah. Okay, they do. So Mars. I'm gonna say Mars. However, definitely check the trigger warnings for that one. There's a lot of stuff going on.
What is Mars about? I heard of it, but I've never read it.
Yeah, I'm reading it for the first time. It's about these 2 high school kids. One of them is like this kind of like rebel, can't think of the word, like a rebel kind of kid. He rides a bike and he doesn't really pay attention in school and he's always disrupting class. And then this girl who is like shy and quiet and she's like the art student. And they end up sitting next to each other and kind of like forming a bond together. Mm-hmm. It's a very emotional story. There's a lot of like melodramatic moments, as well as just like really nice romance moments, more sadness. But yeah, it's a really good series. I've read 10 volumes so far, so I'm more than halfway done.
What shoujo josei title do you guys want to be licensed?
Oh, here I can.
That could be a show
pull up.
unto itself, from what I'm gathering.
Let's see. I'll pull up the names and stuff for you, so you can show it on screen and everything. Just make that easier.
Tyler, yes, spelled Mars like the planet.
Yeah.
For the sake of Colleen and everyone else, I'm gonna say 7 Seeds.
Thank you. Or Yumi Tamura series, please. We are dying for them.
And that was one of those recent in the AX announcements. 7 Seas announced the what are they calling it? Do Not Say Mystery?
Yes.
Or do not call it. It's do not say mystery. Which
do not say mystery. Yeah.
Mystery Tell Unikare in Japan, which is Yumi Tamura, the creator of Basara and 7 Seeds.
So which one is this?
This one's called Colette Decides to Die.
Oh.
I love this series. It is one of my absolute favorites. It's about this girl who is a doctor, and she's like super overworked at her job because she's the only one in her entire village. So what she does is she's kind of like sick of it all. She tries to end it. She jumps into a well, and instead of dying, she ends up in the underworld. And she meets Hades, who like has a disease, and only she's able to fix it. So she like is able to help him out, and then she becomes like the doctor of the underworld.
I love it. I need to read it. That sounds amazing.
It's a fantastic series. 20 volumes in total, I think, and then it had a little spin-off series recently.
Cool. I dig it. So this one is unlicensed at the moment.
Unlicensed, yes.
Okay.
Unfortunately, all of my faves are unlicensed.
There's no adaptation or anything either, right?
Yeah. Unfortunately.
It finished last year. Okay.
Yeah, this one, like, you and like everyone want this one. Y'all talk about it so much, and like, I feel like once it does, I'm gonna put that out there in the world. Once it does get licensed, like I'm probably gonna like feel that with all of y'all. I'm gonna feel like y'all's joy in me.
It would probably, for me at least, it would top the fact that we got Honey Lemon Soda and Do Not Say Mystery. So, like, Colette Decides to Die is one of my favorite series of all time right now. And I haven't even read more than half of the series yet, so.
Shoot, I wanted to ask you something, and now I can't remember. Dang it. Are any of these titles available in another language other than English?
This one is in German. I think Germany just got this one. I have a friend who lives over there, and she sent me some of the free goodies that Germany does with their shoujo releases. So I got this little like star with her face on it, as well as like a little booklet that she sent me as well.
I asked because I do speak Spanish, so I was thinking, hey, if it's in Spanish, I can buy the Spanish volumes. But yeah.
Germany and France are like the two countries that are really pushing shoujo right now. Like a lot of releases are over there rather than in America.
Nice. And this one is?
This one is called Ferrari Girl.
Ferrari Girl.
So it's kind of like an ecchi version of a shoujo. I feel like this is probably the horniest that you could get in a shoujo. But it's so good though. So the girl is known to be like the mistress at school because she's like really hot. Her looks are just like very mature. And she had a really bad breakup with her older boyfriend. And she didn't think she was ever going to be in a relationship again afterwards. But this like really kind of klutzy, timid guy asks her out by asking if she'll be his mistress. And then kind of like the two of them having a romance together. It's a very funny series. Like, it's so much laughter from this series. One of my favorites as well.
This sounds like a 7 Seas license.
I mean, I could see them picking this one up.
Yeah.
And when I say it's horny, like I mean it's very horny.
I recently, under the same kind of description, recently had picked up Lovesick Ellie, and that was one where I said I went off the path of what like your recommendations are.
Yeah.
Like I went rogue because they were saying like it was that same kind of like horny comedy, but
yeah.
the girl doing what like her it's like Tina Belcher and Bob's Burgers, like
yeah.
what is it, Friend Fiction? Like she's making stories about like her crush and stuff, but then her crush finds it one day. And yeah, so that one I picked up because it sounded hilarious.
I'm surprised you picked it up on your own, honestly, because it's one of my favorite series, one of my favorite rom-coms. So I was really happy that you got it.
You never mentioned it at all, but like it was.
Well, I don't know how much romance you actually like, so I was like, I'll just stick to like adventure and action stuff whenever I recommend you stuff.
I've gone off of your path a few times, and I feel like only maybe one. No, the only one that you said anything about it being boring was one that you did recommend to me, which was Laughing Under the Clouds.
Okay, but I just said my personal taste. I just thought I figured you would like it because it's like very action adventure-y, and then there's not like much romance in it, and the characters are good and everything. It's just like it wasn't as much my cup of tea, but I figure it's probably a lot of other people's cup of tea.
Okay, all right. Well, if I don't like it, I'm still blaming you.
Okay, that's fair. at that point, it's still my fault.
I did also go off your away from your recommendations, and I picked up the first few volumes that have been recently reprinted of Kami-sama Kiss, as well as many volumes as I have been able to of Kimi ni Todoroki. Skip beat was Steph's recommendation. I've taken recommendations from Steph and Laura on a lot of spicy titles that Steph and I talked about last week.
Yeah.
And that's been fun. And I'm trying to look at my list of like what I've been picking up. Most of the other stuff was stuff that you did recommend, though.
I got you covered.
Fushigi Yugi. I recently got several of the Viz Bigs of Fushigi Yugi.
Nice.
And that was not under your recommendation, but it is Fushigi Yu-Gi-Oh! So I had to get it because I love Yu-Gi-Oh! It's the only reason. No, I'm playing. I wanted it because a big fancy Viz Bigs.
I'm surprised I didn't recommend that one to you.
Yeah, it wasn't. I have a list on my phone of recommendations that you have given me, and it wasn't on there.
Oh, well, that's an oversight on my part.
But I have added a few from other people right now, because I added Mars on here before you started reading Mars because Steph told me to pick it up. But I have right now the things that I haven't started collecting yet: Blank Slate, From Far Away, Love Com, Mars, Monthly Girls, Nozaki-kun, Otomen, Oran High School Host Club, Red River, Sand Chronicles, Special A, Tsubasa, Reservoir Chronicles, and Twinkle Stars.
You got a lot.
Those are recommendations.
Yeah, these are things that
you haven't picked it up yet.
That I haven't started to pick up yet.
Okay, because I got scared. I'm like, damn it, you're going in hard, man. Nice.
I mean, he already did.
I did.
Because I know you're buying everything, but I thought you meant like I recently bought all of this. I'm like, Jesus, that's a big ass haul.
I haven't done a monthly haul since like May on my channel, and when I do, I'm not even going to do a monthly haul. I'm just going to do a new library tour because I have bought so many of the recommendations from either Colleen or other people. Also, I bought a lot of stuff that was on sale. From like Right Stuff and Drawn in Quarterly and our sponsor, InStockTrades.com.
Hey, hey, let's do that plug. Okay, I can do that much. InStock Trades, your home for all things collected editions. This episode is sponsored by them. Eventually, if SHOJO Beat turns around and starts putting out books, you might be able to find them at InStock Trades, your home for manga, omnis, trade paperbacks, all that fun stuff. Orders up to $50 or more, you get free shipping, discounts up to 50% off, loyalty discounts if you order on a week-by-week basis. That's all you can find and much more at InStock Trades, the official sponsor of Omnibros Live here on the Omnibus Collectors Network.
How about that for a segue?
That was beautiful.
Loved it. That was beautiful.
It was really a masterclass in segues.
I didn't plan it at all. Yes, there is a shoujo equivalent to seinen, which is josei, but I think Colleen's better to talk about that than I am.
It's josei.
I know you have some words about josei that you tend to say about, josei's not.
Wait. Sorry. I gotta interrupt. This is very important. Baz Reads Books just got my first in-stock trades order, and the packaging was fantastic. I don't lie. When I do these plugs, I don't lie, everybody. Fantastic packaging. That's great. That's awesome. What you get?
If it's not, they'll fix it for you. They'll take care of you.
Yeah. Please continue.
I know you have stated about josei that it's not a thing as much as seinen is a thing.
Yeah. So josei, it's harder to categorize just because it does already come from shoujo in the first place. Josei kind of became a thing when shoujo mangakas, moved on from making content for a younger audience. So they wanted to mature with the audience that they had built at the time. And a lot of those series were more based in reality about working adults, about women's issues, about things that women would deal with in the workforce. So that's kind of more what josei is technically, but there's a lot that is also josei that doesn't fall into those categories. Kids on the Slope is a josei, but it's about high schoolers. What else? Do Not Say Mystery is a josei, but it's about a college kid. So it's hard to categorize, especially when you get into the fact that Chihaya Furu, which is considered to be a josei here, is winning awards for being a shoujo in Japan. So it gets very confusing. So there's not really as much of a defined demographic of josei as there is for shoujo or shonen or seinen. Although I don't know much about seinen publications. Are they pretty much how shonen and shoujo are?
Where it's pretty defined that something is a seinen. Yeah, Young Animal is pretty defined as a seinen magazine. But there are mention real quick, because you were saying about josei titles that don't focus on adult women and adult women problems, but Skip Beat, for instance, is a shoujo, but that it's about adult women and the adult problems they have. But you have seinen titles off the top of my head, Dead Dead Demons DDDD Destruction is about a group of high school girls and the way that they're reacting or not reacting to an alien invasion in Japan. Mm-hmm. There are seinen titles that focus on younger characters or female main characters instead of focusing on guts, basically.
The only seinen character. Yes. There's no others.
Guts or Alucard or I don't know, whatever other.
The guy with the sword. I don't know his name.
You read Golden Kamuy. That's a seinen series.
The only one.
That's the only seinen.
Is Tokyo? Is it?
I believe it is. I think most of I'm gonna butcher her name if I try to say it. I think most of her works are considered to be josei. However, Princess Jellyfish is another series that won in the shoujo category. So I guess in Japan it's considered to be a shoujo. I did read an interview from her editor at the time who was referring to it as a shoujo as well. which I thought was strange because I figured Princess Jellyfish was pretty much a Josei series.
I'll take a
but
crack
it
at
is.
Akiko Higashimura.
Yes, thank you. I was like, I know if I try to say that, I'm going to butcher it.
I think
yeah, it's the same case as like Ayazawa's works, where a lot of people get confused on shoujo josei, like Nana and Paradise Kiss.
Yeah.
I think one of the most prevalent josei at this time is probably Wotakoi.
Yeah.
Oh, Baz reads books. You forgot about Vagabond, Riley.
That's the guy with the sword I was trying to say. I don't know his name.
I thought you were talking about Blade of the Immortal guy with the sword.
No, the Vagabond guy. I just know him as Vagabond guy.
Vagabond guy.
Musashi.
Miyamoto Musashi.
And then Blade of the Immortal is Manji is his name, right?
I'm
literally reading a volume of Blade of the Immortal right now, and I'm like blanking on the characters' names.
Just open the book, try and figure it out real quick.
Freaking JoJo's Bizarre Adventure parts 7 and 8 are also seinen. And those main characters are teenagers.
Is it always a seinen?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
It started the first 6 parts, and then the first like several chapters of part 7 were in Weekly Shonen Jump.
Yeah, Shonen Shoujo Josei guy with the sword.
That's the general.
Yeah.
I'm just gonna keep like thinking in this circle about like seinen that are not about guy with sword, basically.
Is Skip and Loafer.
Skip and Loafer is a seinen, right?
Mm-hmm.
And what's the other? There's another romance one that's a seinen that's popular right now. Sweat and Soap. Sweat and Soap.
Oh yeah.
Sweat and Soap. Yeah.
Sweat and Soap.
Is the box set still coming out for Sweat and Soap?
Yeah. I don't know when, but it is.
That's also getting or did it air? Was it a movie or a TV show for Sweat and Soap?
I think it was a TV show, a drama.
Okay.
It got a drama.
A live action thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I looking to pick up the box set because I wasn't indoctrinated when they started publishing Sweat and Soap, but now I am indoctrinated, so I gotta get it when the box set comes out.
That has a surprise inside, and if it's not a soap, I'll be really disappointed.
It should be a soap.
No, it's gonna be a sweaty rag.
Because it says on the description. It says an exclusive sheet of scented, sniffable stickers are included. I don't know about that. I don't want that.
Excuse me?
Sweat and Soap Manga Box Set 1 contains Volume 1 and premium quality box set and features story and art by Kintetsu Yamada, plus an exclusive sheet of scented, sniffable stickers.
Okay.
Smell like sweat and soap?
Are we going for like a nasty smell and a sweet one? I don't know what's happening there.
Sweat and stickers is the new title.
Birdie Bot's every flavored beans, but like with scratch and sniff stickers.
Oh God, that would be disgusting.
I want to see a school teacher that
Stickers.
like is gonna put those stickers on their students' papers. Like, oh, you got an A+.
You got an A+. Here's a sticker, and it
the soap
smells
one,
like.
but you got a D, so you get the sweat sticker.
Oh Lord. I don't know.
Punishment.
Anyway, Shoujo Beat pissing everyone off.
They need to calm down and get better at interacting with people online.
Nancy needs to take a vacation.
Yeah,
I think they need a marketing team. That's what I was telling Riley earlier today. They don't have marketing like at all, and it shows. The fact that like one of their editors is like going on tirades on its customers.
Yeah.
And apparently there's only 2 of them that run the Shoujo Beat Twitter. They need a marketing team over there. And I feel like the fact that they don't have a marketing team is also just kind of another like feeling like they don't care about the Shoujo Beat label.
Still going on about the
Is Planet's seinen?
I'm pretty sure it is.
or planets, whatever. It's planet, guys. Freaking planet.
I have not heard of this.
I call it Planets. It's the same creator as Vinland Saga. It's a space slice of
Drama.
romance drama.
Yeah.
About a guy who like works with a team that they go out into space to
collect trash.
Collect junk that's floating around in space. And it's spread over, I don't know how many years. It was a pretty long period of time, but it's from the beginning to like the end of his relationship with the female protagonist. I love the series. I know that like right now Vinland Saga is like the bee's knees for so many people, but I greatly prefer Planets, and I've stated such many times and gotten hate for it as well.
That sounds more my speed than Vinland Saga ever has, so I might check that one out then.
It's originally it was a Tokyo Pop, but Dark Horse did us a favor and republished it in 2 oversized omnibus editions that are currently in print.
Those are the ones I have. I highly recommend it if you like space stories as well, because I'm a huge fan of space movies and all that stuff, so it's great. I love it.
I'm not a huge fan of like sci-fi, but I like characters.
Oh no! This is super grounded in reality.
It's very much not. There's not aliens. There's not whatever. Like they go into space, and it is a little bit like in the future, to the point where I think isn't it?
It's like a plausible future, and like
so it's more like astronaut-y than like science fiction-y. Okay.
Yeah, it's not sci-fi whatsoever. Like it's super grounded.
Yeah, they based the mangaka based everything in reality. I mean, there are a couple things that are a little outdated. The International Space Station is going to sink in like 20 years from now or 10 years from now, something like that. So by the time we get to the timeline in the manga, that's not a thing anymore. The ISS is no longer going to be in space, but everything else is pretty accurate, I think.
Elon Musk is in this, out in space then?
Yeah.
Oh, I hope not.
Jeff Bezos makes an appearance.
Gio, can you pull up some of the artwork, the nice atmospheric artwork?
And what's insane is that is the author's first published work, and then Vinland Saga, which is a whole other animal.
Yeah. And Vinland Saga is great. Like, it is a really good character study. It has one of the arcs that, like, so many people, if you've ever heard people talking about it, the farmland arc is a really beautifully told, like, introspective story. But I love that third image is iconic. Yeah. The series is beautiful. Like, the artwork is so good.
Yeah, that looks really pretty.
It was one of the first, I think it was the first seinen I ever read, and this is when I didn't know what seinen was. But I picked it up like on a complete whim, the Tokyo Pop version, because I thought that it looked pretty. And 14-year-old me was really blown away, because this was not Dragon Ball, this was not Naruto.
Mm-hmm.
It definitely wasn't One Piece.
Yeah. If we live alone and we die alone, what's the point of living in the first place?
I don't know, space homie, tell me.
I like that there was an Easter egg for like a nod to sci-fi stuff with aliens, but you barely notice it. I don't know if you remember that, Riley.
It's literally been over a decade since I read it, so I think I slightly know what you're talking about, but I don't entirely remember. Oh shit, I was gonna say something about how like the other publishers have been feeding us as far as SHOJO and josei go. I think Kodansha has been doing really well, and Seven Seas has turned around a lot. People on this channel know, like, I was very harsh about Seven Seas in the not too distant past.
Oh yeah, I love those streams.
Yeah, I used to go in, like, I was like, Seven Seas sucks. Everything they do is like is either smut or it's isekai or it's isekai smut. and I was like angry.
3 genres.
The 3 genres of 7 Seas, and I was upset because I was like, 7 Seas, I see the potential in you because I've seen some of the few good things that you put out there. But now I've got the smut in my collection, so
And now you can't say anything.
Yeah.
That's great. Next to Berserk, Planets is pretty close to Evergreen for Dark Horse. Farmland Saga, can't wait for the anime only to experience that arc.
Yeah, I joked about the anime only people like when they get to that, because so many of them just know Vinland Saga is like Viking action, bloody gore, and then it gets to this like very introspective arc that's super quiet for like a long time.
Awesome.
And they're gonna be like, what is this?
Give us our action back.
One Piece in Space would be great. You do have One Piece in Space. It's a freaking from Mashino. What's the name of it? Eden Zero. That's like one Piece in Space, sort of.
You know what would be a cool title? This one isn't a shoujo or josei, but it's a recent seinen title. It's called, goodness, oh, I'm blanking on the name. It's like Frozen Earth or something along those lines. I'll see if I can find it real quick. But it's this really. It was such a strange series when I first started reading it. This kid is like the hero of the planet. Oh, Snowball Earth is the name of the series. I can send the Manga Magura link.
Yeah.
But yeah, so this kid is like the savior of the universe. And he pilots this mech that he's been piloting since he was like 5. So he's super socially awkward. And then when he turns like 16, there's this really big alien invasion and he thinks everything is normal as usual. So he gets in his mech and he tries to go like stop all these aliens from destroying Earth. And then all of a sudden they just completely kill all of his crew, everyone. And then his mech like dies and he gets sent back to Earth and he gets put in like a cryogenic stasis for a super long time. I can't remember how long it was. And when he wakes up, the Earth is completely frozen over. It's just a really goofy title, but also like really kind of horrible at the same time. It feels like they're mixing like really horrible situations with like very lighthearted comedy because the kid is so socially awkward. But yeah, it's a strange series, but I really liked the couple chapters that I read of it.
Nice. I'll check it out. I'll add it to my list.
I just think of Fire Punch because the whole planet is frozen in that series.
Oh, true.
I don't think it comes close to that one in content.
Have you read Fire Punch?
No, I know enough about it, but I don't want to read it.
Yeah.
Ice Phoenix. I don't like fairy tales, so I can recommend Eden Zero. At least watch the show. If you like the anime, you might want to pick up or read the manga.
I dropped Fairy Tail at like 18 volumes. I gave it a good shake, but
I saw like 5 episodes. I'm like, nah, I'm good. Thank you.
Gio,
my boyfriend loves that series.
Yeah. But Eden Zero, I dug it. I like the fact that the girl in the show, she is a futuristic YouTuber in their universe or whatever. So I dug that. I'm like, I can relate to the character. Thank you.
That's like, did you read A Gravity Boys?
I read half of it and I forgot to finish that series.
Did you read the part where Chris becomes a like the same type of thing, like a streamer?
I don't remember. Maybe
like because is what is it, four guys, and one of them is like super like femboy looking.
Yeah.
Chris becomes like a famous like streamer, and I believe it's been a minute, but I believe because people think that Chris is a girl, and like people fall in love with Chris and stuff. And it's like half of the plot like winds up being there's like 2 arcs, like one arc and then another one where I think
I remember that. Yeah,
kidnapped or something because of this. But yeah, that reminds me of that because it also takes place in space.
Any love for Lost in Space?
I haven't finished it yet.
That's a great series. I loved it. The plot twist came out of friggin' nowhere, but I dug it. I thought it was fun.
I need to keep reading because I didn't get to the twist. The
twist is great. You're gonna. It's
Colleen,
so wacky. I loved it.
Does Zach read a lot of stuff that you just absolutely don't like?
He has lately, and I have clowned him for it so hard. So this is what happens. He gets his recommendations from the R manga, and I'm like, Zach, what are you doing? Stop. And I'll send him a whole list of all the series that I'm reading. And then he won't read them. And he'll just read what our manga sends, like, shows on its page. And half of them are like really weird, like smut series, or, you know, just kind of like corny shonen romance series. And I'm like, no, Zach, read this one. And he's like, no, I'm going to go read whatever this is now.
Because I just know, like, when you were talking about the recent volume of Komi where she's like stacked on the cover.
I told him not to buy it.
Awkward it was.
Didn't want that. Yeah, he's a big Komi fan, and he reads My Dress Up Darling as well. And I'm just like, okay, fine, I'll have these in my collection. And I'll be sad.
I'm a
now that you guys bring up that series, Riley, remember the Walmart picture?
Yeah.
Vinland Saga sold out completely in less than a week, and they replaced it with My Dress Up Darling, which I thought was hilarious to find at a Walmart. Like, okay, we're doing that now. Parental advisory right there next to, like, I don't know, Fairy Tale, whatever. So something that a kid could grab.
I picked up the first two My Dress Up Darlings last week because I was going to read them for the last week's Smut Show, and I didn't get around to actually reading them.
You saying Smut Show makes it seem like we have a segment here where it's, hey, it's a Smut Show.
But I love Komi. I've talked about how much I love Komi so much, and I know, like, sometimes the covers, they give her that dumpy for some reason, and I don't know why, but like that series, Colleen, I cried at the beginning.
Okay, I have nothing against Komi. I really don't. I feel like the artwork is what pisses me off about the series. Just the covers are so, like, the series is so innocuous. I think that's the word. Like, there's not... Stop.
She got the dumpy with the mom jeans.
Oh my god.
Stop.
They went full 90s comics on her.
But like, but no, volume 19 though, like, that's not like nothing.
I mean, for the most part, the covers are fine, but like, I don't know. Stop. Jump scare.
That's a weird angle.
Yeah, I really don't have anything against Komi. I just think that the people who like it a lot would like SHOJO, but then half the time they hate SHOJO, so it's just very strange to me. It's just the crowd around these series that I usually have more issues with.
I don't know why
she got that dumpy though.
Double cheeked up.
I was not expecting that from Komi of all books.
It was, I don't know, man. Like, that was some.
But is it the same inside the volume, or is it just a cover?
I think I haven't read that volume yet, and when I saw that, I pulled it out of the box. I was live with you.
Yeah,
I was on your live because I thought that I'd gotten a SHOJO box, and I pulled it out, and I was like, holy shit! Like,
and then we talked about how ridiculous.
Yeah, like the mom jeans and everything, like the angle that she's at. Like, I don't know, man. And she's in high school, and I'm like, y'all need to chill on this one. Like, Komi's supposed to be cute and wholesome. That's neither. You put her mom on the cover.
I was just thinking that they should have put the mom there.
She's bad. Her mom is bad. They could put her cheeked up on the cover. No one would have a problem. Anyway, I was gonna say, when you said, like, you know, the people who would like SHOJO, and you know how it is, like, these guys, like, it doesn't matter, like, if it's SHOJO, a lot of these guys are gonna just shit on it for no reason. That's like it, and that's where, like, I tried to
sorry, that was funny.
Hey guys,
the huge eyes.
I've said in the past, like, you know, was when I realized, like, I had never said never uttered anything about like, oh, shoujo is trash. The only things I would ever say is like, I don't think shoujo is really for me, and that's why I don't collect it. And then I started noticing the patterns in like my, not just my collecting, but like what I paid attention to, and I was like, I'm automatically ignoring these things subconsciously. I need to stop that pattern. And that's when I started talking with people and asking questions and reaching out and trying to correct that. But like a lot of people, unfortunately, a lot of the people that we see on Twitter, they don't like to, you know, kind of think about that, and they don't like to think about the fact that like, why are they not reading these series? And you know, it's a little easier when you do have a little bit of exposure to some that you like, but that also becomes a little bit of a meme in itself. Like the, you know, all shonen bros like the same 3 shoujo titles, the acceptable ones. And so it was, you know, I was like, yeah, I love Sailor Moon, but shoujo's not for me. And then I'm like, what do you mean, dude? Like, you love Sailor Moon and you're saying that shoujo's not for you? Like, it's a fucking shoujo series.
That's wickety whack.
Yeah, it is also funny when you do see that a lot where people will be like, oh, I don't think shoujo is my thing. I really think it's just people thinking it's a genre instead of the demographic. Because if you think of it as a demographic and then you say, oh, shoujo's not my thing, it's just like an entire demographic of manga isn't your thing. Like, that just sounds goofy. Like, you could say, oh, romance isn't my thing, and I'd be like, okay, that's fine. But like saying shoujo isn't your thing, that's like saying literally every single manga that ever existed in this demographic is like not for you. And that just is not true for literally anyone.
Yeah.
So, because I would never say that about shonen. I wouldn't say shonen isn't my thing. There's certain shonen series that aren't entirely my thing. But like, that doesn't even mean I would say I hate all of a certain type of genre in that demographic either. Like, I just feel like the using broad language to put down an entire thing is just always gonna either make you look hypocritical or just make you look stupid.
Because oftentimes when people do that with the broad language, like myself, there's all the exceptions. It's like, I don't like this, but I like this, I like this, I like this. And for a lot of people, it's like, I'm not a fan of shoujo. And then most people don't just say it's not my thing. Most of them are like, all shoujo is trash. Like, they have to use those types of words. Dog water manga, if you will. And then they're like, but I did enjoy Fruits Basket. And I did enjoy Banana Fish and all, like, and then they'll throw in like Kaguya-sama, and it's like, well, that's a shonen, but go off. But like they start picking and choosing. It's like, well, you obviously like some stuff, and that's why, like, and I mentioned this on Twitter before, the reason I always like to highlight Junji Ito is because I know that a lot of people who are so adamant that they don't enjoy any shoujo, if you were to bring up that a lot of Ito's works are shoujo, then it's like, oh, and it kind of opens up that idea of the breadth of the demographic, instead of it just being just being the cutesy, often romance, sometimes action stuff that you expect. And it shows that, like, even when you talk about shoujo as a vibe and not as like the genres, but like, you know, when you often talk about the style of artwork that goes in, the atmospheric artwork, the flowing artwork, a lot of those horror stories don't have that either. And so it's something completely like different than what anyone that's not familiar would expect. And then you're like, okay, well, I enjoy something. At least I would hope that someone, when I say that someone is like, I do enjoy some shoujo, I guess. Either that, or they're gonna like claw their eyes out and be like, I can't believe it.
I'm dying.
Quick, give me some berserk stat.
My entire identity.
Ice Phoenix, where's the Dio cheeks for a JoJo cover?
bro, right? Right. I think we get some boobage on the covers, by which I mean pecs, but like not. I don't think there's any double stacked DO
No, those are
cheeks.
titties.
Bottom.
They're
Yeah.
titties.
The yitties.
Here's a question from Next Imaginaut. I skipped that. Sorry, Next Imaginaut. Do you think it would be feasible for Viz to experiment with crowdfunding some of their most desired but dicier reprints, or that they never even consider it so as to save brand face?
I don't think that they would, because they probably would have already done a crowdfunding thing before. If they would have.
I don't think they need to crowdfund.
No,
It's gotten too big, in my opinion. They can just experiment away and put it out. That's my take.
Who does crowdfunding in manga?
Tokyo Pop. No, not Tokyo Pop.
I was Tokyo Pop, but Tokyo Pop does print on demand.
Print on demand, yeah, sorry.
But even I don't think Viz would do that either.
No.
The print on demand, because I'm pretty sure they said they weren't going to do it.
Right.
Something about the printers make it look bad, so they wouldn't do it.
Only shoujo, I guess, series that recently came and finished is Waiting for Spring. I love that series, but it's under Kodansha, so I guess not shoujo.
No, it is a shoujo.
Not shoujo beat, but yeah.
Oh, yeah. It is a shoujo, though.
Mm-hmm.
I actually just finished that one myself yesterday for the first time. It was a cute series.
Nice. Let's see if I missed any comments from you guys in the chat.
Anyone has any additional questions before we wrap up our discussion on the
shoujo? I got 3 minutes in me, guys. I'm tired. I'm sorry. It's been a long day.
I think we covered pretty much everything, but I think the main thing that I want to leave here with everyone knowing, because some people on Twitter don't seem to understand this, is that the reason the drama exists is not because Nancy was saying we're not going to reprint stuff, but it was because of the lack of professionalism and tact that they had in the way she was responding about stuff.
Let's try and get Nancy on the show.
We won't invite Colleen to that one because she might murder Nancy over the internet.
Hey, I'm for the most part pretty tame about all this. If anything, I would probably hound her about titles.
The complete lack of professionalism was just mind-boggling. Yeah, that's not something for a company to do on Twitter, of all places.
Yeah.
It's really putting one's own just personal feelings ahead of the company, and that's really not something that in a professional setting that you want to do. Like, I understand in some points you do get emotional, and I've done that in customer facing roles, but like it's not as it's a lot easier when you're in a customer facing role that's on the internet. Like, she didn't have to, you can take a step back and like let someone else type it out.
Or just not respond right then.
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to give an instant response. It's not an email. Yeah. It was a question on Tumblr.
Right.
It was also, I don't even think the response from 2018, I think that was a completely separate Tumblr post. She wasn't even responding to anyone.
Yeah. It was
so like she just typed that out.
It was a broad, like, I've been getting these types of questions. Here's me being catty about it.
Yeah.
Shit, I was going to say something about it, and now I don't remember.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
Well,
no, it's fine. I did see the Plaza.
Semi-relatedly, Glacier Bay Books' new translation of Yuichi Yokoyama's Plaza, which they did successfully kickstart, is now widely available for purchase.
And that reminds me of what I was trying to think of with the crowdfunding. Digital manga publishing, all the Tezuka stuff. They crowdfunded
a
lot of that. I think there were some pretty big hiccups with that stuff, though, as far as I've heard. But there's
Omar bought or backed some of that stuff and never got it, and now had to get it through the recent retail release. I think something like that. I don't know.
They also DMP, I believe, also kickstarted was the way that Kimagure Orange Road first got out.
Yeah,
and those are, I don't know. They're supposedly coming back into print, but I talked with a publisher, and they were like, "Good luck."
Yeah. Also, people need to remember that Twitter is kind of a cesspool sometimes. So,
but it's not when it's the saying something on social media that someone regrets. This is talking about someone who it's not their personal. It's not me talking from my personal Twitter. It's not Gio, it's not Colleen talking from our personal Twitters. If we say something we regret, we are acting as an individual for ourselves or our own brand. If you want to call it that. This is an editor, a long-standing editor, working at the largest manga publisher in the US, who is making these statements that are just unprofessional. It's something that, like, I don't have to be professional. Colleen doesn't have to be professional. Gio doesn't have to be professional. Like, when we do stuff, we try to be, but we don't have to be, because this is our personal stuff. If we don't want to be professional, then fuck it. But like, but Nancy is an editor at Viz for the SHOJO Beat line. This is her professional job. This is her job that she has a salary and a 401k at. Like, there is a large sense of professionalism that needs to go with that. And that's why companies have social media managers. That's why companies have these people who are literally trained to do these jobs where they respond to things properly. So it is a very different thing than just someone being like, oh, some guy said something dumb on the internet and got in trouble for it. No, it's a professional person. It's not even like, oh, an actor said something dumb and like actors are professionals. No. Like, it's someone at a company using their company Twitter and their company Tumblr. Why are they even using Tumblr anymore? I don't know. But using their company Tumblr and then signing it at the end, Editor Nancy. So it's
Editor Nancy.
We would know anyway, Nancy. We know what you sound like.
Oh my God.
On top of that, I just think... Oh, I was going to say something now. I completely forgot. Yeah, I agree. I had something I was going to add, and then I forgot. Yeah.
I went on too long. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay.
Don't worry about it.
I blanked.
So, yeah, that's that. Hopefully it doesn't happen again for the good of the company.
Oh, that's what I was going to say. You wouldn't see this happening with Viz. The fact that SHOJO Beat is like the one that's always getting in fights with people. Like, you wouldn't see this happen with Viz.
And blocking people left and right for
the
virtually
fact that they
nothing.
block people too.
Yeah. Exactly. They shouldn't have that as part of their job if they can't do it. Like, and it's so easy for them to just be like, Nancy, stop. Like, just don't, like, we're gonna put someone else. There's so many people that could take that on. They could get an intern if they needed to.
Yeah.
They could do so many things to like fix that issue. But like, it's so easy. But like, yeah, you wouldn't see it from Viz. You wouldn't see it. You don't see it from Viz. You don't see it from the Shonen Jump Twitter. They sometimes will delete somewhat like controversial tweets, like the one like what is the big three really, and that one was fun. And then more recently, where they acknowledged JoJo Part 7, and that got disappeared after they did that, because let me tell y'all a secret, but a lot of people that work for the publishers read scans of that stuff if it wasn't already obvious. I've talked about reading scans with the people that work for the publishers. Yeah, you wouldn't see that, but now I forgot the last point that I was going to make about that. Oh, the point that the point that I told you, Colleen, and I think you said like that you had said the same thing to someone else was she's perpetuating such terrible stereotypes, negative stereotypes of women, the way that she's like, and it's the exact opposite thing that line needs right now, when you have so many people who already conflate a lot of negative stereotypes with shoujo manga, and then you have the premier supposedly the premier shoujo manga line has someone who is also perpetuating those stereotypes. Nah.
Yeah. Just being really impatient and rude to their customers and kind of mean, being a little meanie. Yeah, it's just not a good look for, this line is supposed to be for young girls and older teens, and I would say most of the customers are still exactly that. I don't think they're all 40, 50-year-olds who are buying Shoujo Beat. I assume a lot of the people asking questions are still like 18 to 20. They're just getting into manga. They found out about Basara for the first time and they were like, wow, this series looks really cool. I'd love to try this out. Yona the Dawn's my favorite. And I heard that this series is just like it. Mm-hmm. And then, they're asking this person a question and they're like, no, you should have bought it back when you were 2 years old. Like, no, you didn't know about this thing that didn't get marketed to you because it was a completely separate line at the time. So it sucks to suck. You missed out. Like, that's just really rude to girls who are trying to get into manga and having a specific line of manga for them and then just being horrible people to them. It's not a great look.
Should be better.
If they want to be shitty, then we can play ball. And we got homies out in Malaysia who are going to help us out with these. Oh
my god!
Legitimate printings of manga.
That's a segue right there. Holy crap! I was not expecting you to pull those books out.
The homies out in Malaysia, man, like. This doesn't exist physically. The Malaysian, I shouldn't be talking about this stuff, but
yeah, put it away.
Yeah. Let's
you didn't do anything. Riley did nothing. Riley showed nothing.
Let's just say I have a Malaysian friend who happens to have a bunch of copies of Red River for sale for around cover price.
Okay.
And they have some of Basara as well. The spines look a little bit different, but they are starting to get some Basara, my Malaysian friends. Yeah. And stuff like Baki and Initial D. They got Initial D recently. Plenty of copies of Initial D, but the spines are a little weird. So, you can go check out my Malaysian friends. They have a shop on eBay. Just look up Red River Manga, and you'll find a huge stack of them selling the Red River Manga. For close to cover price.
You're going to show up on that website like a recommendation.
Yeah.
Buy from this store and your name right there.
Recommended by.
Yeah. Omnibus Collector recommends you buy these manga.
I mean, shit, man. If they're going to go and tell us, like, basically to build a time machine, then...
Unless Nancy's onto something and she knows something that we don't yet.
She's actually got the licenses to time machines.
Yep.
Nancy probably, like, what if the October solicits come and it's like, it's Nancy's show. She comes out, it's like, it's a live stream. She's like, Shoujo Beat fans, do I have the best news for you? And she's like, we are going to be reprinting all of the classics. All of the classics, they're all getting reprinted. You can finally pick up Basara. You can finally pick up Red River. We're also
like Oprah giving out cars.
We're also going to somehow
reprint it. You're going to reprint.
We're going to get Mars. I don't know how, but we did it. We're going to reprint Mars for you. And then she like singles Colleen out. She's like, Colleen, we've got Colette Decides to Die, and we're going to put that out for you. And then we also have, because we're doing Basara, we're also going to put out reprints of Chicago, and we're all going to put out reprint of, Wildcom, and we're also going to put out a reprint or a new printing. We're going to do 7 Seeds. So yeah, this was all the stuff that I was talking about 4 months ago when I told you, and y'all had so little faith in me.
And then we all, oh my God, it was all a dream.
This is actually Nancy's dream that she actually was doing her job well.
No.
I can't. I didn't come on here to like get in trouble with people.
Hey, that's what we do on this stream.
This is
ruffle some feathers.
Our quiet little corner of the internet. Don't worry about it.
Rarely
Next
gets
thing
me
we know,
blocked
we're going to
by
get
the SHOJO
a comment from Nancy at the comment section later.
Yeah, I'm going to try and like look at the Shoujo Beat Twitter, and it's going to say that I'm blocked for some reason.
For some reason.
I wonder why.
Anyway, thanks for watching the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you to the chat. You guys are great as always. Thank you so much for tuning in week after week. Thank you to all the people watching later. Let us know in the comment section what you thought of the stream, what you thought of the discussion, and your thoughts on it. Leave those comments down below. Colleen, where can people find you on the internet when you're not delighting us with your presence here on Omnibros Live?
Yeah, you can find me on YouTube, Colleen's Manga Rex. On Twitter, manga_nostalgic. TikTok is Colleen Carney Photo. And then Instagram is Colleen's Manga Rex again.
Nice. And you, sir, with your weird Malaysian manga, where can people find you? I mean, sorry, regular manga. My bad.
Non-weird American manga.
Yeah.
Definitely legal.
Legal manga. You can find me on the Omnibus Collector on YouTube and on Instagram, if I would remember that I actually have it, and on what's that other platform? TikTok, where no one's getting views anymore, so good luck. And also Omni Collector on Twitter, where I tend to piss people off, I guess.
Well, you can find me on Week in Geekdom, where I talk about anime and manga. I also have a gaming channel that's called Geekdom Gaming, where I talk about games and all that other stuff. Instagram, Twitter, whatever. If you want to find me, you'll find me. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Thank you to the sponsor once again. Thank you to everybody. We'll be back next Monday with all the new collected editions coming out next week. And we do it all over again. So thank you, guys. Thank you so much. God bless. Stay safe. We're going to wrap it up for now, and we'll see you on the next stream. Like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff.